Hi friends, let's start with today's lecture in which we will solve payload questions from Keith Williams. Today's question number will be question number 67 to question number 70. So question number 66 I have omitted because to solve that question we require other details like booklet to be provided in the exam, which DGCA will not do. So we can ignore that question. And let's start with question 67 in which there is direct application of formula and other concepts. What is the traffic load of aircraft under following conditions? DOM, takeoff fuel, zero fuel mass, takeoff mass, landing mass, trip fuel are given to you. Aircraft is not performance limited for takeoff or landing, and the startup taxi fuel can be ignored. Too small to consider, so ignore that. So we will start with our step number one, which is make three columns, one for takeoff mass, the second for landing mass, and the third for zero fuel mass. In the takeoff mass column, you have to write a value which is lower of performance limited takeoff mass and maximum structural takeoff mass. So over here, we do not have performance limited takeoff mass. We have directly maximum takeoff mass, which is 62.8. 62.8. In the landing mass column, a value which is lower of performance limited landing mass and structural limited landing mass plus trip fuel. So landing mass is 54.9, trip fuel is 12. So 54.9 plus 12, which is equal to 66.9. 66.9. Next, in the zero fuel mass column, the formula is zero fuel mass plus fuel on board. Now, zero fuel mass is 51,300 or 51.3. Fuel on board also known as takeoff fuel, 115.9, 15,900, so 15.9. 51.3 plus 15.9 is 67.2. Out of these three takeoff values, we have to select that value which is the lowest of all, and that value is 62.8, and this becomes our regulated takeoff mass. Step 2, use the formula regulated takeoff mass equals to dry operating mass plus payload or traffic load plus fuel on board or takeoff fuel. Now, regulated takeoff mass is 62.8, dry operating mass is 33.9, plus payload plus fuel on board, which is 15.9. Therefore, payload equals to 62.8 minus 33.9 plus 15.9. 62.8 minus 33.9 is 3.9 plus 15.9 is 49.8. So 62.8 minus 49.8 is 13. So answer is 13 or 13,000 kg. Okay, option A. Next, question number 68. The traffic load of aircraft includes what all things? Now your traffic load is made up of your payload, which is the load of your passengers plus cargo. Okay. So option A states passengers baggage but excludes all non-revenue loads. Passengers baggage all non-revenue loads but excludes cargo. Passengers baggage and cargo but excludes all non-revenue loads. Passengers baggage cargo and all non-revenue loads. So option delta is the correct option. Okay. Passengers, their baggage, this two makes your payload, cargo, cargo makes your traffic load. So cargo, baggage and passengers your traffic load plus all non-revenue yielding loads. Okay, so 68 is delta. Next, question 69. How much additional traffic load? So additional, that is load on top of original traffic load, can be added if takeoff masses are given to you, zero fuel mass, landing mass, maximum ramp mass is also given, total fuel load, start and taxi fuel is given, trip fuel, traffic load is given. So again, let's make three columns, one for takeoff mass, the second one for landing mass, and the third one for zero fuel mass. Now in the takeoff mass column, we have to write the takeoff mass value given in the question, which is 1,95,000 kg or 195. In the landing mass column, you are going to write the value which is the lower of performance limited landing mass and maximum structural landing mass. So over here only maximum landing mass is given, performance landing mass isn't given. So simple, just write that value which is 154 plus trip fuel. Trip fuel is 57,000 or 57. So 154 plus 57 is 211. Now in the zero fuel mass column, you are going to write zero fuel mass, which is 143 plus total fuel on board or takeoff fuel, which is not given to you directly. So what we will do is takeoff fuel equals to total fuel minus fuel used in startup and taxi. So total fuel is 65. Startup and taxi fuel are startup and taxi fuel is 500. So zero point 0.5. 65 minus zero point 0.5 is 64.5. So 143 plus 64.5, which is equal to 207.5. Out of these three possible takeoff values, 195, 211 and 27.5, you have to select that takeoff value which is the lowest of them all. And that takeoff value is 195. So 195 becomes a regulated takeoff mass. Step 2, regulated takeoff mass equals to payload plus dry operating mass plus fuel on board. So 195 equals to payload plus dry operating mass, which is 113. Fuel on board, we have found out 64.5. So payload or traffic load will be equal to 195 minus 113 plus 64.5, 177.5, which is equal to 17.5 or 17,500 kg. So now current traffic load in your aircraft is 17,000 kg. Maximum traffic load that you can carry in this aircraft is up to 17,500 kg. And the actual traffic load that you are carrying now, as given in the question, is only 17,000 kg. So there is a space for some additional load. So you can carry an additional load of 500 kilograms. Okay, an additional load of 500 kilograms. Okay, so this is how you do the question. So correct answer is option A. The additional load that you can carry is 500 kg. Next, question number 70. What is the maximum traffic load for this aircraft whose takeoff mass, zero fuel mass, landing mass are given and their performance counterparts are also given. Basic empty mass is given. DOM is not given. Basic empty mass is given. And with basic empty mass, you will use variable loads which include the loads of pilots, okay, and takeoff fuel, trip fuel and fuel density is given. So let's start. First, we will start with making three columns, one for takeoff, the second for landing, and the third for zero fuel mass. In the takeoff mass column, we will write the value which is lower of maximum structural takeoff mass and performance limited takeoff mass, right? So over here in this question, maximum structural takeoff mass is how much? It is 4,750 pounds or 4.75, and performance limited takeoff mass is 1,800 pounds or 4.8 pounds. So out of these two values, 4.75 is the lower one. So our takeoff mass will be 4.75. Now in the landing mass column, you are going to select a value which is the lower of performance limited landing mass and structural limiting landing mass, and to that you are going to add trip fuel. Okay, so between maximum structural landing mass of 4,500 and performance landing mass of 4,450, 4,450 is a lower value, so you are going to write 4,450, 4.45. To that you add trip fuel, which is 85 US gallon. Now 85 US gallon is not the weight, it's volume. To convert volume into weight, you will have to cross multiply, which is given here. 1 US gallon is 6 pound. So 85 US gallon will be 85 into 6, which is equal to 510 pound. So I'm going to add 510 pound here, but divide by 1000 you get 0.51. Therefore 4.45 plus 0.51 equals to 4.96. Next thing, zero fuel mass column, zero fuel mass plus takeoff fuel. Zero fuel mass here is 4,450 pound, which is equal to 4.4. Okay, so correction. Here I took zero fuel mass value, so it should be, sorry, it was right, 4.45, 4.45 plus 0.51, and over here 4.45 plus takeoff fuel or fuel on board. So takeoff fuel is 120 US gallon. Convert that into weight. So 120 into 6 is 720 pound. So add 720. So 4.72, right? So 4.45 plus 0.72 will be equal to 5.17. Now out of these three takeoff values, 4.75, 4.96, 5.17, check that value which is the lowest of all. That value is in front of you, 4.75, and it becomes a regulated takeoff mass. Step 2, regulated takeoff mass equals to DOM plus fuel on board plus payload or traffic load. So regulated takeoff mass is 4.75. DOM is not given. So we will make use of basic empty mass plus variable load. So basic empty mass DOM will be equal to basic empty mass plus variable load. Now variable load is the load of your crew, their baggage. So basic empty mass is 3.21. Variable load, there are two pilots. One weighs 175 pounds and the other weighs 200 pounds. So 0.175 plus 0.2. So 3.21 plus 0.175 plus 0.2 equals to 3.585. So DOM is 3.585. Fuel on board is 0.72. Payload or traffic load will find out. So therefore payload will be equal to 4.75 minus 3.585 plus 0.72. So 4.75 minus 4.305, that is equal to 0.445 or 445 pound. So what is the maximum traffic load that you can carry? It is 445 pound. Okay. So this is how you do the sum. I hope you have understood how I have done it. If you don't understand any part of the sum, you can pause the video and or slow down the speed of my teaching, and you can learn it according to your own nature. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment box. I'll answer them. Hit the like button if you have liked this video lecture. Subscribe to this channel please, and share this video with all your friends. See you next time. See you in the next video lecture.